tere kõigile, kes on juba siia kogunenud, meid ei ole väga palju, aga ma arvan, et paljud on võib-olla oodavad ka selle infotunni salvestuse järelvaatamise peale, nii et tere tulemast kõigile. Ka meie tänastele esinejatele Courserast. Kuna esitlus toimub inglise keeles, siis ma vahetan kohe ka keelt ja jätkan inglise keeles. So switching the language as we speak today in English, and I was just welcoming both our attendees today and our main speakers from the world's largest online e-learning platform, Coursera, the account manager Evghenia and customer success manager Upasna Sharma. Basically, what we will hear is about the news, the innovations, all kind of different AI-enabled learning experiences, and some new skills tracks offered by Coursera. We'll try to keep, if any questions arise, them to the end. But if you're worried that you might forget some, you can just jot them down into the chat, and I will be monitoring it while Evghenia and Upasna will be presenting. But Evghenia will be the first one to talk, so I'm honored and happy to give the floor to her. Thank you, Evghenia.
Thank you so much, Kristjan. And it's interesting to see that everyone's name from your side starts with K. You're Kristjan, and then we have Katrin, we have Christina. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but super nice to meet you. Thank you for joining. And as Kristjan mentioned, that we will be talking about some innovation from Coursera side today and how it can benefit your training and, most important, your future and present careers as well. My name is Evghenia, and thank you, Kristjan, for pronouncing it correctly. Yarina. I'm based in London. I'm a country manager for the Baltic region as well, including Estonia. I'm in charge of partnerships, and I'm happy that we started this partnership several years ago, and we keep going by providing free access to your students to most relevant courses. And I joined by Upasna, our customer success manager, who's based out of India. So it's very international connection today here. So let's not lose our time, because I know students are getting too many lectures. So I try to make it not as a lecture, a bit shorter. And as Kristjan mentioned, if you have questions, please leave them in the chat, or we will be happy to answer them later on. So let's start going. So a quick reminder about Coursera. As you know, there are plenty of courses in different knowledge domains. And overall, Coursera concentrates on seven career domains. And this choice is driven by the job market. So we're constantly observing what's relevant out there, what's the demand, and we're concentrating our forces on contributing in creating content relevant to these jobs. So here you can see 7 career domains: data, software, product, IT, business, so on and so forth. And you being mostly IT-related engineers, I think it's highly relevant for you what kind of training Coursera is currently offering. I know that some of you might be basically overwhelmed by the number of courses that you can see on Coursera platform. And today we will actually explain you how we can make this journey more relevant and easier for you. As you know, Coursera focuses on high quality content. So if you look through our content providers, this will be top global universities that are highly ranked at university rankings. And this will be most successful companies such as Google, IBM, Salesforce. Many of them, many students would like to see as future employers, and which is why it's highly relevant taking training from these companies. When it comes to training, we have training in different forms and shapes, starting with short form content, bite-sized information like Coursera clips, where you just get familiar with the topics. We have hands-on practical types of courses that are also quite short, from 30 to 60 minutes, that are teaching you how to use particular software, applications, and providing you opportunities to practice your skills, and then classical Coursera courses that are going deeper, and then professional certifications that are a combination of courses that make you ready for entry-level types of jobs. And professional certifications, we think this is where you should pay attention. And I hope that some of you already took some of this training. So what are professional certificates? These are courses produced by companies, as you can see, again, same names, SAP, Meta, Google, Salesforce. They consist of, on average, 6 courses. Upon completion of each course, you get a certificate for completion. But once you complete the sequence of courses, you get a professional certificate. Now, I know that many of you asked Kristjan that does it really prepare me for the CITIT exam for the certification? And the answer is yes, these professional certificates, they can prepare you for CITIT exam, but if you need to go and sit the exam with IBM, you will still need to sign up and take it. What is important in all this training? Of course, the knowledge and the skills that you're acquiring, and that this knowledge and skills are relevant to employers, and how do you send this signal to employers? So basically for certificates. So currently we live in the world of certificates. The reason for that is that each certificate has specific skills attached to that. It has a unique number, as you can see on this picture. And by one click, once you complete training, you can add the certificate to your LinkedIn profile if you want to add it to your CV. And then the way the modern algorithms are working, for instance, if we're taking LinkedIn platform, when recruiters are searching for candidates, they're not searching only based on their education and diploma, but they have multiple filters on which skills these applicants are having. So basically adding as many as possible certificates to your profile, are feeding this information into algorithms, and this way your profile goes up when recruiters are doing a specific search. And then certification preparation for external exams. Again, going back to the topic that was mentioned before, there are several ways to prepare for external tests. There is a direct preparation and indirect preparation, and we prepared a list of courses that would prepare you for external tests. So after this meeting, after this call, you can request this list from Kristjan. We will share with him, and you can go one by one and see how can you better prepare for external exam, on top of getting certificates from these content producers and Coursera. Okay, again, we're very curious. Normally, we're a data-driven company. We are very curious about how our learners are benefiting from this training. And the main reason why learners are coming to our platform is actually to contribute towards their careers, no matter if they are just starting their careers or progressing. So we're constantly gathering this feedback, and we can see that 73% gain skills for advancement, 45% increase their earning potential. And in general, we're constantly improving our content algorithm in order to make sure that these outcomes are improving on a regular basis. And the same when it comes to skills acquisition, we're constantly interviewing our learners, and we can say that 84% of our learners improve to develop technical skills relevant to their respective initiatives. So it was a quick kind of reminder. What is Coursera, how it's structured, what's the most relevant for you in there, but it still may feel a little bit overwhelming, which is why today we're covering what's new on Coursera platform. And the biggest innovation on Coursera platform is something that you do not see from your screens, is something that's happening behind, is our super powerful engine, which we call Career Graph. And this engine actually absorbs the data from multiple sources. Basically, we are working with 2+ million data points processed on a regular basis. So what exactly we're doing? We are analyzing what's going on job search platforms. So if you're looking for a job and you would go to a job ad, you would see specific requirements, what skills are needed for a specific job, for a specific level, entry level, or mid-career level. So basically, we're observing this information and we're feeding this into our platform to make custom-made learning pathways. The same we're doing with skills mapping through Lightcast and through third-party competency framework. So we collect a lot of data, we feed it into our algorithm, our engine processes this data, and then our engine is able to create a custom-made learning journey, which is relevant for a specific job, for a specific level. So how exactly it's done. So the innovation we will be talking about today, it's called Coursera Skill Tracks. And today we will be focusing on several most in-demand skill tracks are data skill tracks, software product skill tracks, IT, and Gen AI. And what are these? This is actually the training almost off-shelf that you can join at any point of time if you have the understanding what kind of jobs you would like to do now or in the future. And at the same time, this training is highly dynamic. What does it mean? It means if there is a new course created on Coursera platform with more relevant knowledge, more relevant data, this course automatically replaces an old one in this learning path. Let's talk a little bit more practical and see how it works. So here is the example of IT professional. And whenever this IT professional decides to join the training, our career graph would identify the occupation group. In this case, it's cybersecurity, career band. So this person is in early careers, skills area. This person wants to develop security and governance skills and sample skills attached to training. So the learner would take a diagnostic test and the algorithm would identify at which skills level they are currently placed and would suggest a learning pathway, which is a sequence of courses that leads to this learner as an outcome being able to perform a specific job task. So you can see that the diagnostic test starts here, security and governance, and then the first course is recommended, security ops center, and then the next course is recommended, incident response and digital forensics, and so on and so forth. Upon completion of each course, a learner receives a certificate, which would be branded by the name of the content provider and Coursera. But at the end of all this sequence, a learner receives a digital badge, an extra quality stamp to the training that can be transformed to your CV or LinkedIn as you're qualified performing this specific job task. And here a job task is schedule, deploy, and verify OS patches via these things that I do not understand, but hopefully you understand. So basically now you don't need to wander the platform. You just join a specific training that prepares you for these jobs. And this can be done for different occupational groups. So you can see here's IT skills track for cybersecurity, for IT support and ops, for computer systems architecture, IT management, networking, network engineering, and architecture. So something highly relevant, something off-shelf, and highly dynamic. Okay, one quick thing that I wanted to mention, because Kristjan mentioned that we will be talking about innovation in general. Another innovation on Coursera platform is Coursera Coach, is basically our chatbot, which is trained on our platform, that can help you to engage better with all the courses. And you can interact with this coach in multiple languages, asking how this training is relevant to me. This is what I'm currently studying. This is the job that I would like to do in the future, or even dropping in this chat questions asked by employers, right? So we highly encourage you now, once you start training on your Coursera platform or you continue the training, please engage with the coach, because it may help you even preparing for certain tests and within Coursera platform and outside. And now we will proceed with Upasana, because as I mentioned, you have too many lectures in your life. You don't need another lecture from me. What is most relevant is the practical application. So what exactly you need to do, where you need to go, how it feels and looks. Upasana, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Evghenia. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for such a quick yet detailed introduction on IT skills tracks, and not just IT, We have other domains like data analytics and generative AI. So just to make it easier, I think we've discussed this with Kristjan as well, just to make it easier for you learners, because we don't want you to move from learning programs to learning programs. We've done something very unconventional for you, for TalTech learners. What we've done is we've created a specific skills tracks where we've clubbed all the domains in one. So it just becomes much easier for you to go through all the collections and the learning paths that we've created. So what is skills tracks, right? So it's a learning experience built on career graph, which helps you build on your career or your career trajectory. And it also maps all the learning to real occupations and the skills most valued by employers today. So the reason we've done this is to give you that sort of boost internally and also prepare you for real-time scenarios by taking these collections of courses and also these learning paths. So how does skills tracks basically differ from a full catalog? So instead of scrolling through 17,000 plus courses that are there on Coursera and actually deciding what's the right course for you, we brought the learning to you. So it basically offers a curated experience that is turnkey, which is data-backed and focused with structured, with progress and tracking of verified credentials. So I'm not going to take much time. I'm just going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how it's going to look for you as a learner and how you can access these learning paths, which are basically skills tracks in the form of collections and verified skill paths. Just a second. Is my screen visible?
Not yet. Okay, now, yeah.
Perfect. So just a quick reminder, if you want to keep all your accomplishments protected, we would highly recommend that you keep an recovery email. This is just a reminder. This is not compulsory, but it's highly recommended that you do that so that you ensure that all your accomplishments are in one place if you ever do not have access to your TalTech account. So moving on. So what we've done is we have created a content page, or basically content tailored for learning for you students, which can be basically divided into verified skills paths or collections selected by Talent University of Technology. So before we move into the verified skills paths, I would just like to touch base upon the collections. So what these collections are, these are dynamic collections, which basically changes once every 1 month or 1.5 months based on the most popular courses or the most recognized courses according to our expert team of content creators back in Coursera. So this basically gives you a chance to be up to date with all your learning. It gives you a chance to be in touch with what's happening around the world so that you are able to upskill yourself with what is actually relevant in today's world. So like Evghenia mentioned, there are different skills tracks. There is IT, there's data analytics, there's generative AI, there's cybersecurity. Just to make it easier for you learners, we have clubbed all these skills tracks into one. So I know it can look a little overwhelming, but we've made it as simple as possible. To see all the collections, what you'll have to do is just click on this blue button right here, which says View All Collections. When you click on it, you will be able to scroll through all the collections that are created, which are job relevant today. So you will see a collection on data visualization. You will see a collection on business intelligence, AI and machine learning, scripting languages, data management, query languages, data analysis, data science, top courses, leadership excellence for managers and business leaders. Again, if learners are wanting to move into management, I think this is a great course. Strategic leadership for executives, leadership, and Gen AI, and basically Gen AI courses for different teams in a real corporate scenario, which is Gen AI for customer service teams, Gen AI for data teams, finance teams, and so on. So you basically get the whole narrative behind this. So if you want, if say suppose you're interested in a particular topic, say suppose you want to experiment or you want to take up a course in Gen AI for finance teams, what you'll have to do is click on Show 8 More. And these are all the dynamic collection courses that are available to you for you to go over and take up a course. So the benefit of taking a course from a collection is that you don't have to follow a particular order of these courses. You can take any course that you feel you resonate the most with. So if you feel like you want to understand a little bit more about the course, how do you do that? Say, I, as a learner, am interested in Introduction to Generative AI and Finance because this is something that I'm getting new into, and this is something that I am in a beginner level. So I click on the course, and the whole course page appears right in front of me. So it will give me the name of the course, how many learners across the globe have already enrolled into this course, just to give you a basic idea of how many learners across the globe have taken this course. It will give me information on how many modules I have to cover, what is the star rating, what is the level. In this case, it's a beginner level course, and how many hours would I require to complete this course. And if it's a flexible schedule or if it's a schedule that you need to follow. So in most cases, most courses are in a flexible schedule where you can learn at your own pace, which will be very clearly mentioned here. So you will be able to see what skills you'll gain, what are the outcomes, what are the modules, testimonials, if you feel like you need to see why people choose Coursera for their career, any reviews, and recommendations. So recommendations is something that Coursera automatically generates if you have already explored something in the relevant field. I'm going to stop sharing here. So this was about courses. Now coming to verified skills paths. So
maybe Upasna,
yes.
Let me pause a little bit here. I think it's important to explain the difference between two terms that we're using. So Upasna is mentioning collections and she's mentioning learning path. And it might be confusing for someone who's not working for Coursera, right?
No,
so collection, imagine if you're at a resort hotel and you have buffet style kind of catering. So you're going to a restaurant and you see the best selection of dishes and you're welcome to try and enjoy any. But basically you're not limited to how many and in which order. So the situation for you would be is that I need a specific training. I don't have enough time to explore the entire Coursera platform to look for the best courses. Go into collection, and Coursera already did it. They pre-selected for you. If you need data analytics, okay, these are top trending 5 courses in the data analytics. We recommend you take this. So you check the description as Upasna showed to you for each one. You check who's the content producer. Maybe some of you prefer like companies produce, some of you want to university produce, and you pick one that fits you the best. So this is the collection. So collection equals buffet style, right? So the learning path, it's more like a Michelin star restaurant. When you have a tasting menu, when one dish comes after another, and there is a logic in how these dishes are connected. So basically it's the journey. That's why we're saying learning path. So it's a sequence of courses. You cannot proceed to the next one before you completed the previous one, because there is a logic behind why you're taking this training in this particular sequence. And this gives you a badge at the end saying that you completed this learning path, and it prepares you so you are not taking a specific knowledge only, but it's a specific job related training. So you need to, Upasna will be demonstrating now, but you will need to scroll through all these learning paths that Upasna is saying, and okay, this is my career objective, and this is why I'm taking this training. So hopefully it was more clear with this restaurant analogies. Let us know if you have more questions. What is what?
I don't think I could have explained it better than Evghenia. I think this is a great example just to get an understanding of what these terms mean. To reiterate, collections basically comprise of individual courses focused on a specific domain, like I showed, that don't need to be taken in a particular order. They update automatically to reflect relevant changes in our content catalog. But like Evghenia mentioned, it's more like a buffet system. You can go ahead, you can choose something that you like, and you can go into the course, read about the course, and then take up the course at your own pace. So that's what collections mean. But unlike collections, verified skills paths or learning paths in this case, which I will be showing you, they are tied to specific career levels, much like a Michelin level experience where you have a tasting menu where you have one course coming after the other. It's the same way. They are tied to specific career levels designed to help learners develop and demonstrate critical skills. They are also built a little differently, basically featuring modern or modularized content by sourcing the most relevant. Of course, this is something that our content team does on a monthly basis. And also in this particular skills tracks, you will also be able to do practical assessments to see which level you are at. And let me just go ahead and show it to you. So if my screen is visible, I'm going to take this as a yes. Okay. So the first thing that shows up, or the first thing that pops up when you go into your learning program, which is the skills tracks learning program, is the verified skills paths that Evghenia and I were talking about. So to see all the custom learning paths and the courses chosen by your organization, you click on view all. And you will be getting all the learning paths that offer a badge. So like Evghenia mentioned, once you complete each learning path, so every badge that you're seeing here is a learning path. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit so that you can see what it actually mentions. So upon completion of every learning path, you will be getting a badge which looks like this, which basically has the TalTech logo. It has the name of the learning path, and it also has the Coursera logo. So this is something that you will be earning apart from the certificates, of course, that you will be earning upon the completion of each course. You will be getting a learning badge similar to this, which again, you can share on any social media profile like your LinkedIn or in your CV. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and I'm going to tell you about one learning path as an example. So say suppose you want to understand what that verified skills path or the learning path in this case offers. You click on this. And again, much like any course, it will give you a little bit of information on what the learning path is, what are the skills goal, uh, what this course basically entails, what you will learn, and the tools that you will use. So if you scroll down a little bit, you also have skill goals right here, which will give you an analysis on what you are trying to learn and what are the techniques or what are the preparation that you will require to take up this learning path. Again, like I mentioned, these are verified skills path where you can, as a learner, take a small assessment to understand where you're standing. So in some cases, this might not be available, but in some learning paths, this is available. If you see this blue box right here, you can click on Start Assessment. It's a small 10 to 15-minute assessment where you can understand where you're standing in this particular level. And if you're doing well in this particular assessment, you can also skip ahead and not take all the courses required in this learning path to complete this learning path. I'm just going to take a pause here. It may sound confusing, but if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask me, or if you're too shy, you can put it on the chat box as well. Because this is the last bit of our presentation, so this is one of the most important things that we would really encourage you to start with. So I'm just going to take a pause here. If you have any questions, if you feel like we're going too fast, please feel free to put it on the chat box, or if you want to just unmute yourself, you can. I know you're a smart bunch of students. I know that, but I'm just going to take a pause. I'm just going to take another 10 seconds if someone feels like they have a question. If not, I'm going to proceed.
If I may just jump in with a small clarifying remark, because that skills tracks looks really appetizing, but I may as well tell you that as we present it, right now is the 20th of April, it's not yet available to the TalTech license holders of Coursera, but as we distribute the recording of this information session, I will add that extra link, extra URL that is similar to that in-house general program on Coursera that we have used all our and has become so popular among our students. A similar link will be added to that recording, via which you can join that skills track learning program or package, in which all becomes available that you have seen here. And it doesn't matter whether you're a current license holder under TalTech for Coursera, or if you are just joining up. We want to make it a more unified experience from the fall semester, hopefully joining together that skills tracks offering with the whole catalog of Coursera. That's 12,000 plus courses that's already available under the general program, learning program in TalTech. But if there are any questions, just let them here now, or just put them in the chats before we start wrapping up.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to proceed because I believe no one really has a question yet. But just to reiterate, some of the parts or the learning parts will have this option right here. So I think it would be highly beneficial if you just take the assessment, understand which level you are at, and if you are at a level which is in an intermediate or an advanced level, Coursera automatically will let you skip ahead and take the courses that are beneficial for your level, so that you can complete the learning path at a much faster pace and move on to the next one. So this is it. Just to show you once more, if I go back, this is how your homepage will look like, with the learning paths right in front of you. If you click on view all, you will be able to see all the learning paths within this different skills, ranging from data analytics to IT to generative AI. Right in front of you, you will be able to explore while clicking on it, where it will give you all the information of all the courses that you will have to take, in which order, what is the preparation that you will need, what are the tools that you may require, and all the information of that particular learning path will be available. If you do not want to start with a learning path, which again might be very time consuming and something that you will have to require a lot of time to finish, you can start off with all the collections that are right under it. If you scroll through a little bit and click on view all collections, you can take up a collection, or you can start off with a course with which you resonate the best. So just remember Evghenia's comparison of a buffet to a Michelin star meal, and happy learning. Just to wrap up, before I wrap up, just to give you a little bit of an extra information, this is something that I do with all my learners. If you feel like you're stuck somewhere and if you need any immediate technical support or any question that you may have, there's also a learner help center. So if you click on the blue button, which has the initial of your name on the top right hand side of your screen, and click on it and scroll down right above logout, there's learner help center. You click on it. You will be able to access all the learner help documents that are available at Coursera, any FAQs or FAQ questions that you may have, to just help you go through any issue that you may be facing. We also have a chat with us option, which you will be able to chat with our support team, which is available to you 24/7, so that we ensure that we are not the reason that any sort of learning is being hampered. You can also reach out to our support team. And if you scroll down a little bit more, there's also an option which says how to contact Coursera, and you will be able to raise a support ticket with our support team using this, if at all there's any technical support that you may need immediately. So these are all the resources available to you to ensure that your learning is not hampered and it is continuous with Coursera. So with this presentation, thank you so much. I see there's something in the chat box. Okay, perfect. From my side, there's no questions. Okay, perfect.
So I want to thank you so much, Upasna. Again, the recording will be available. You can pause. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that please leverage your faculty members to make the right choices. Because if I were a student, I see a job ad, I go through the listed skills and I think, okay, I'm confident in these 3 skills. I'm not confident that I have enough knowledge in this skill. I would go to this dedicated page that you have on Coursera. I would go through collections and identify maybe a couple of courses that I think will cover this gap. I will go to the learning paths and see if I can go deeper, if I need deeper. I will save this as screenshots, or I will take my laptop and I will go to a faculty member that you trust and ask, am my judgment is right? Is my judgment right? Would you recommend taking these or these? How it's incorporated into courses? Are there any overlaps or anything like that? Because this is where you will get the most of the support. So Coursera is providing the support in terms of narrowing down the focus and making it relevant, but Coursera doesn't have the full overview of what you're studying at your university, and which is why, I don't know, Kristjan, if you think the same, but I would say ideally, if possible, get support from your teachers so that they give you the right direction, what's the most optimal and time efficient way for you to acquire these skills.
That's an excellent recommendation, Evghenia. So the last call for our real-time followers, if you have any questions or remarks of your own, and for those who are watching us afterwards in the recording, I can mention that if you will have any questions based on what you heard today or your usage of Coursera, you can always write to me and find my contacts on TalTech website under the name Kristjan Rebane. So let's see. Do any of our guests today have any final remarks? I don't see any hands up or questions coming up. I get the chat message that all is good. Well, that's good
Fantastic.
to hear. So, but Evghenia and Upasna, thank you so much for offering up your time and your inside knowledge about what's happening in Coursera and what your latest offering is, as well as the skills tracks package that will be available to our TalTech learners quite shortly. It has been most enlightening and a great pleasure to host you in this team session. So thank you once again.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
It was our pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Okay, so wrap it up here and talk to you soon again. Bye.
See you.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.